Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sad Panda Presents. This is a podcast about music. We're going to discuss what we think about different albums that we're listening to. We're going through the staff pick list on consequenceofsound.net. We're going to be talking about some of our favorite albums as well, or those suggested by listeners. Just getting it out there. We use coarse language, adult humor, things like that. We might say offensive shit, so here's your warning. That being said, I'm Andrew. And
I'm Shane.
Yeah, he sure is. And he's adorable.
I sure am. I meet all the time. It's crazy. Alright, so how's your week been, bud?
My week's been alright. I was in Austin for RTX this past weekend with Kirsten because her daughter really wanted to go, and so that was fun.
Oh, that's why you were down. That's cool. How was it?
It was pretty fun. I haven't been to a lot of conventions. I went to Louisville last year with you and Tadpog Nation, and I've been to a couple of other like real small, goofy shit. But this one was pretty decent. Like as far as the size goes, like they filled that Austin Convention Center, and we even had panels going on in other hotels surrounding it and stuff like that. Like that was easily several thousand people there.
Yeah, but I mean, Rooster Teeth has been around for like a long. I remember watching like Red versus Blue like in 2003 or 4.
Oh yeah, man, they've been around since like before YouTube.
Yeah, I remember Bernie talking about when he was. Yeah, I think he was on some like traveling show like.
Oh, Amazing Race.
Amazing Race, yeah, he was on Amazing Race, and he had to like explain to people like what he's like. Basically, we made YouTube before YouTube.
Yeah,
doing our stupid show. And I'm a big fan of Red versus Blue, and I feel bad because I really haven't kept up with a lot of their stuff. But I was like a huge fan. Like I remember when I moved to San Antonio, when my brother and I moved into our house in San Antonio in 2004, my senior year of high school and his freshman year of college, I remember I got the first 2 seasons on DVD in the mail, and then the 3rd season dropped like 2 or 3 months after that, and we had to like go to our friends' apartments at the college because they had internet and we didn't, to watch the news. Watch season 3.
Yeah, I'm not like up to date with Red versus Blue or anything like that. I stopped following it after I don't know a few seasons, and but I kind of watch some of their gaming stuff and some of their podcasts and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's interesting. They have a bunch of different channels in their network now, and like I don't know. They do a lot of interesting stuff. They have some documentary stuff that's pretty good, like about like kind of like behind the scenes or just lifestyle. Like there's one with Jeff and like the tattoo industry and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool. Well, Jeff did that. Was it Achievement Hunter?
Yeah. That's his channel.
He goes through like different games and like tries to 100% games and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's how they started, but that's not at all what they do anymore. Now they just kind of fuck around like all the time.
Oh, okay.
But they'll do goofy shit like they'll fucking make custom maps in like Halo or shit like that, and like do things to try to like break the game or like play golf with like warthogs and shit like that. I don't know. It's real dumb. But,
oh, that's cool. Huh.
So I went to that. A lot of cosplayers. So that was pretty neat. Honestly, I don't watch like the Rooster Teeth produced cartoons like Ruby. I don't really follow. I don't follow like Camp. I don't really follow their cartoon stuff at all. But
I remember Ruby, and I think that was, from what I remember, I think Monty Ohm was the guy that started that, and then he passed away like really, like he was young when he passed away.
I honestly don't know.
He was their like fight choreographer.
Oh,
like
okay.
When I think in like season 7 or 8 of Red versus Blue, like they actually had like crazy good fight scenes, and he was like their fight choreographer guy, and I remember he did some stuff, like, he did a couple of videos of, like, people fighting each other. I think there was one with, like, Tifa fighting somebody. Like, Tifa from Final Fantasy VII fighting someone else. I can't remember.
Yeah.
That was really, really good. And then I think they hired him on to do all their fight scene stuff. And then I think he started Ruby. And then I want to say he passed away like when he was like 28 back in like 2009, 2010 or something like that.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't follow it all. But there was
that was like the end of it.
But yeah, there was like a bunch of cosplay and stuff, and like normally I recognize a lot of costumes when I see like cosplayers around, and it was all like Ruby, and I mean there was a bunch of Halo suits of armor and stuff like that to like Griff and Caboose and Tex and fucking like it was all the characters from Red vs. Blue. So I recognized a bunch of those like suits of armor, but outside of that I was like I don't fucking recognize any of this shit. So that was a new one for me. But so because it was so fucking specific to Rooster Teeth, like that was really goofy, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know, like anyway, but we didn't. I mean, her kid and her daughter and friend, they kind of stuck around the convention pretty much the entire time. And Kirsten and I tooled around on Saturday and went to a couple of the podcasts that they were shooting
and
live.
Fucked up, Dave.
Well, I mean, you know, there's a little of that here and there. Being in a distance relationship kind of merits a lot of that when we see each other. so yeah. Yeah, we tooled around, fucking ate at a really good seafood place and, at this barbecue place called Cooper's that I'd never eaten at before. And
Cooper's? Yeah. Cooper's is good.
Oh man, I forgot how good fucking Texas barbecue is. Like, oh man. The barbecue place we have here in town is not up to snuff. Like, it's okay on a good day. And
speaking of barbecue, man, I'm getting pretty good at that goddamn smoker, man.
Yeah.
I can make a goddamn brisket. That smoker we have?
Yeah? Oh
man, I can make a fucking brisket now.
Nice.
I know. I've got it down, man. And it's the last one I made. I was pretty impressed. It wasn't like the best I've ever had, but it was pretty good for me. And I was really happy with it. Anyway. So that's cool. Right on, man. You were in Texas, didn't call a motherfucker, didn't fucking say, hey, I'm like 300 miles away, just...
I mean, I told you we were, going there beforehand, but,
you said I texted you, said I'm leaving Austin Sunday.
Yeah. Well, okay, so here's the thing. Like, we only had limited time, and I just did not want to. I didn't call anybody I know that's in Texas.
I'm just digging with you. I know. You came down here for a reason, and the reason was fulfilled. And I'm glad everybody had a good time.
Yeah, it was awesome. So
I was just being bitchy just to be bitchy.
It's all good. It's all good. Okay, that I understand now. No, it's
that I'm a prissy little bitch. Yeah.
No. Skype is auto adjusting my microphone levels like it does. So it's.
You're trying to get in my mind. I'm like, dude, you know me. You don't need to. If I can be a prissy little bitch, I'm gonna.
Well, you're not lying.
I'm not lying.
So anyway, this week we're talking about the album Physical Graffiti by Led Zeppelin. No? You're not ready to talk about it yet?
Well, I have an intro story.
Oh shit! All right.
Okay. Have you ever seen the movie Blazing Saddles?
Oh man.
It was an old Mel Brooks movie back in like 76.
If I have, it was over 10 years ago, and I don't remember a lick of it.
Well, it stars the made by not being in Talking Heads fame, Gene Wilder.
Oh. Okay.
But so I had this moment in my life that reflected a moment in that movie, and the moment in that movie is where there's a new sheriff in town, and he meets the town drunk. And, like, the main star of the movie, I think it's Cleavon Little is the name of the guy.
Okay.
Anyway, he meets Gene Wilder's character. And when they meet, they're playing chess, and they're talking about, like, their life story. And Gene Wilder is telling his story about how he is the Waco Kid.
Okay.
and he's got the fastest hands in the world. Like, he's the best quick drawer of all time.
Yeah.
And so, he's like, well, what happened? Like, why aren't you still doing it? And Gene, he says, well, when you're the best in the world, everybody challenged the best to see how good they stand up. And one day I was walking down the street, and I hear a voice behind me say, reach for it, mister. So I spin around, and there I am, face to face with a 6-year-old kid. So I threw my guns to the side, turned around, and walked away. Little bastard shot me in the ass. So, the other day, my friend is her and her son are living with me.
Right.
And we're outside, and we're blowing bubbles. And I'm blowing bubbles, and he's popping them.
All right.
And I'm like, okay, cool, this is fun, nothing crazy. So he's like, okay, now it's my turn. I'm going to blow bubbles, and you try to pop them. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So we switch, and I tell him, like, hey, there's this pretend barrier between us. Once that crosses that barrier, I'm going to start popping them. So you blow as many as you can, and let's see what I can do. And I look like fucking Jim Carrey in a goddamn flailing around, like, making faces and acting a fool. Next thing I know, he runs up to me, hugs me around the waist, and about between my sternum and my navel, he bites down on me and twists.
God damn.
Like, dude, he bit the fuck out of me. Like, I had a bruise for like a week. And in the moment, I was like, this little motherfucker bit me. Like I was in shock. Like, I was like, did you just bite me over bubbles? Like, my next impulse was to just drop my elbow on the top of his fucking head.
Well, I mean, some lessons are learned a little more.
What do you do with that? We're blowing bubbles. Next thing I get bit? Like, what? I get bit? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, little bastard bit me in the stomach. Anyway, that's my. Anyway, okay, I needed to get that off my chest. All right. I just had to talk about it. Anyway, okay, so yes, this, as Andrew said earlier before, he rudely didn't ask me about my week or anything.
Yeah, well, I figured we'd get to it.
Yeah, that's fine. We are talking about physical graffiti. So, Andrew, go ahead and, do you have any info on it?
I can pull some up.
You can, I thought you were prepared.
I mean, you know me.
Apparently I was wrong. Well,
okay, so, this Physical Graffiti is the, 6th studio album by the English rock band Led Zeppelin. It was released as a double album, in February of 1975, when under the new record label Swan Song Records. They recorded 8 new songs for the album. Let's see, at Headley Grange, a country house in Hampshire, which is an interesting note. And that gave them a bunch of time to improvise, whatever, 3 sides of an LP, so they expanded it into a double album because it was so long. This is a long album, for sure. So I mean that's the basic background of it. Led Zeppelin themselves are just like, when old school like blues rock band started in the 60s in the UK and got super big. Interesting thing where they say it was recorded in Headley Grange, a country house in Hampshire. This is literally a fucking house. Like, this is a house out in the middle of the countryside in England, and they recorded a lot of music there because they really liked the acoustics of it. And Jimmy Page talks about this quite a bit in a documentary called It Might Get Loud. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great documentary. It's got, they talk to Jack White, Jimmy Page, and The Edge from U2.
Wasn't Tom Waits in it as well?
Who?
Tom Waits?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
I don't believe so. I thought it was just those 3. So they interview them all.
I might have been mistaken. I thought I saw it, but I guess I didn't.
They interview them all separately, and then they even come together for like a jam session / group interview, and it's fucking awesome. Like, it's a really good documentary. And one of the places they interview Jimmy Page is in this house, and he's talking about like what they liked about it and all that stuff, and it's really cool. So that's just an interesting kind of like side note on the house where they recorded this, like fucking set up room microphones and stuff. This wasn't done in a studio. I mean, I'm sure all the production work, post-production work was done in a studio, but so yeah. This is a long album.
So Andrew, what did you think about the album? Like, just before, like, we get into anything, like, overall, what did you think about it?
Yeah, I like this album. It's not one of the ones that I really grew up with. I've heard a bunch of these songs, not all of them, but I had heard a lot of these songs before. I grew up with the very obvious Led Zeppelin 4 album, and then I also had like one of the compilation albums, Mothership. So I've heard a lot of this stuff, but not all of them. Yeah, it was really good. I liked it a lot. This is like straight up part of my inspiration as a musician and what I like in music. So this has everything from like super old school blues style sounding songs, like just like acoustic blues jams, to everything to like a little bit harder rock, like British rock. So I really enjoy it. What about you?
Oh, go ahead, Bob. I'm sorry.
I said, what about you?
I'm really not very versed in, like I've mentioned before, I really don't know a lot about Led Zeppelin, but this album was kind of all over the place. Like, yeah. I feel like when I sat down and listened like song to song to song, what I found was that there was, I could count 8 different types of rock. Like I found hard rock, orchestral rock, progressional rock, funk. There was a ballad, a blues song, a soft rock song, and a country rock song. So this was like, those are 8 different styles in 15 different songs.
Yeah.
So like this was kind of like they were really kind of all over the place with this album, and which I'm not complaining about, but it was very interesting that this is what bothers me, that this is the lowest ranking Led Zeppelin album, and it's like all over the fucking place.
Yeah, and some of these songs like encompass more than one of those styles.
Oh, for sure. It's crazy that I feel like maybe this is their more experimental album where they try to do a little bit of everything.
Could be.
You know what I mean? Like, we'll try this here, we'll try that here, we'll try this here. And what was funny to me was as I was doing research is that, they named an album after a song that wasn't on the album but was on this album.
Okay. Which one is that? Houses of Holy? Yeah.
Houses of Holy. That album, like, they had the album ready to go, and they named it, and then they cut the Houses of Holy song from that album and put it on this one.
Yeah. Houses of the Holy, that's, an album that came out before this, and the song ended up on this one.
Well,
so, like,
no. What happened was that it was supposed to be the main title track, but it sounded so much like a different song that they liked better. They dropped that song and then put it on this one.
Right, but they had already named the album. But they already named the album Houses of the Holy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly. So they dropped that song, the Houses of Holy song, from that album, and then dropped it and then put it on this one because they had. They said from what I understand is that they had so much music that it was too much for one album, so they wanted to do a double album, and so they added a bunch of other stuff like B-sides and stuff like that, and they had a lot of trouble recording like the whole album like at one time, and in fact what I read was that when they started recording, they did about 2 or 3 months of recording the album, and then they had to stop because the bass player wanted to quit. John Paul Jones wanted to quit the band, and they kind of pulled him back in. And in that time, they took a break from recording, and then Bad Company. The band Bad Company.
Right.
They came in and recorded that album at that house that you were talking about.
Oh, okay.
During the break that they had, so that was kind of a neat little fun thing.
Yeah, that is neat.
Another fun little factoid It was the first album ever to go platinum just based on advanced orders.
Damn.
So just on like
so
people pre-ordering it, it was the first album to ever get a platinum record just on pre-orders.
I didn't know
so that's pretty neat.
I didn't know pre-orders were a thing back then.
Well,
had no idea.
Well, I mean, when you're as like back in the day, man, you had to like you didn't want to make too many records,
right?
Because if you made too many, then you're stuck with all these things, and you don't want to go too short because you have to redo another dose.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they wanted a commitment from the record stores, you know, how many they're going to buy. But I didn't realize that. I didn't think that's how they measured album sales. I thought they measured album sales by actual like sales to customers. So I didn't know that you, as a customer back then, could like pre-order an album. But I guess. Well, they just called it reservation back then, so. Exactly.
Like, you know, if I'm in San Antonio and I want this new album coming out, I'm going to get like 20, 30 copies just to have enough for my, you know what I mean? Just on pre-sale, like, of what the, you know, what the record stores.
What's your normal, what's your like regular in and out customers, you know, say they want.
Yeah. So that's a fun little one. Also, it's Robert Plant says this is his favorite one.
Oh, so nice. This album really like kind of shows off, like you said, they were all over the place, and it shows off just how versatile they are as musicians themselves. Like the fact that they can be this tight in all these different styles is really like it shows that they have a really good grasp of like music theory and how to fit timings together and stuff like that, because these are so vastly different from each other, and it shows that they're really like, I don't know, they really understand music on a fundamental level and probably really enjoy all these different styles. So it's pretty interesting. I don't know. This is
for sure.
This is really good.
I mean, it's really good. Like I've never really got into Led Zeppelin, but man, I was really impressed with this album. Like, it was really good. Like, there isn't a song on here that I don't like.
Right.
There's some like, meh, okay, it's okay. But, I normally do like my top 3.
Okay.
But since this was a double album, I did my top 5.
Okay.
Because I feel like that was more, because it's 2 albums together. So I was like, you know what?
What are your top 5?
Okay. Well, do you have yours, or do you want to figure that out?
I don't know.
Well, let me get your mind.
I didn't write it out, but I can give you a pretty good idea of the songs that I really liked and the songs that was less.
For sure. Number 1 is "In My Time of Dying."
Okay.
That is a bad song. Yeah. That is a really good song.
Yeah, it is.
And I have some notes on that when we get to that. Okay. Number 2 is for sure. Braun Your R, the acoustic one.
The instrument.
That's a really, it's so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 is going to be In the Light.
Okay.
I like the sound of it. Number 4 is going to be 10 Years Gone.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Just because of the lyrics. Mm-hmm. And then number 5 is going to be Kashmir. Cause it should be higher just because of its grandeur.
Yeah.
But I do have like a sad recall on that song.
Okay. Well, what's your okay, see, Kashmir is like Kashmir, and I would say, I don't know, Kashmir may be the most popular or most well-known song on this album. Then again, that could also go to Wonton Song, Trampled Underfoot, or
Trampled Underfoot too, like
Houses of the Holy.
I was surprised how many songs I knew from this album, especially being a fucking dolt that I am.
Right. Like, I
was like, oh shit.
I mean, Led Zeppelin was huge. I mean, you said it yourself. It's the first album to go platinum on pre-orders. Like, this is a big band, and you know, one of the biggest ever, really.
For sure.
So I'd say, man, so my top 5's a little different than yours. I really liked Black Country Woman.
Okay.
That might be my number 1. That's probably my number 1. Really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Boogie with Stu, funny enough. Like, It's kind of their more country-ish song. It's kind of like a country boogie-woogie. I just thought it was really fun. Let's see. The Rover's really good. That's probably in my top 5. Cashmere's gotta be in my top 5, cause that's
4.
That's nostalgia glasses all the way. And then...
You got one more.
Man, it's tough, cause I want to put like 3 or 4 of them in it.
I know, right? It's hard.
I'm gonna have to go with Trampled Underfoot.
Trampled Underfoot, man.
It's just
Trampled Underfoot, like, just missed the cut.
Man, it's just like, such a good jam. It's super so popular, good. Also, or super well known, but fuck, there's a reason, because it's good.
Yeah, it just missed, especially how funky it is, and you know how I feel about funky. Like, it just missed my cut, man. Like, it was either Cashmere or Trampled Underfoot, and I had to go Cashmere.
Yeah, man. So what's your sad recall on Cashmere? I'm just curious. Cause I have like a nostalgia call for Cashmere, so I want to hear what yours is, and then I'll tell you what mine is.
My regretful recall is, in 1998, the movie Godzilla came out.
Okay.
And in that movie, Puff Daddy and Jimmy Page got together and did a song called Come With Me. Okay. That I fucking played. I had the cassette, and I played that song. There were 3 songs. There was a Rage Against the Machine song. There was that Come With Me, and then after that song was Jamiroquai's Deeper Underground.
Nice. Okay.
I played those 3 songs on loop until the tape popped.
Right.
And so my mom sadly had to listen to that Come With Me over and over and over again. And then one day we were driving in her car, and then Cashmere came on, and she looked at me and she goes, "Hey, that song you fucking listen to all the time, this is the original." And I was like, "Meh, this sucks."
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, well, it was 1998.
So they basically sampled Cashmere and Puff Daddy, like, rapped over it or something like that?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much. It was the da-da-da, and then he rapped over it. Yeah.
Okay. So
I tried to look it up, man. I tried to look it up on YouTube, and I could not find fucking Come With Me. It's not on Spotify. It's not on YouTube. Like, that song is just erased from the internet.
You gotta find that soundtrack, man.
Well, the tape popped. I don't have it anymore.
No, I mean, like, you gotta look up. Surely somebody has the soundtrack, like, digitized. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
From that piece of shit Godzilla movie in 1998. I'm sure someone does. Like, someday it's gonna come back. Like, someday. Some dude with like 50 albums, like, someday it's just gonna pick back up. He's cornered the market on that Puff Daddy, the Come With Me Puff Daddy song.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I really shit on the first time I heard Cashmere, I really shit on it hard, cause
you just weren't into it.
I mean,
I don't know. Okay, so the first time I distinctly remember, like, hearing Cashmere, I don't know if it's the very first time I heard it or not, but the first time I very distinctly remember hearing it, I don't remember exactly where I was or who I was with, but in the Nintendo 64 game GoldenEye 007, on one of like the menu screens, or maybe it's like the multiplayer level select or whatever it is, there is a song that sounds like fucking dead nuts to Cashmere. Like, the menu song is just like dun-dun-dun, 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 dun-dun-dun. Like, it's really, really close.
Like, isn't that the main theme to that song?
I don't know if it's the main theme.
That's like the main theme to that.
It might be, but
yeah. No, it's like I know, like, but it's like slower. It's like da-da-dun. Da-da-dun,
yeah,
da-da-dun.
and so
no, it totally, okay,
I played a fuckload, of GoldenEye 007 when I was a kid. It's like, that was the game that when I had friends over, we were playing that shit, fucking team deathmatch on multiplayer, like, for hours. So that song is ingrained in my fucking brain. And the first time I distinctly remember hearing Kashmir, I'm listening to it, and I'm like, yeah, all right, and Robert Plant starts singing, and like, I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was something along the lines of like, I didn't know this song had lyrics, like the song from GoldenEye, I didn't know it had like actual lyrics. And whoever was with me, like, I don't remember who it was, if it was like my brother or like somebody, they kind of looked at me funny and they were like, the fuck are you talking about? This is Kashmir from Zeppelin. And I was like, oh, I didn't know this was Led Zeppelin. This is totally the GoldenEye song. Like, this is what I know it as. So like, for me, like, this song is just, like, fucking, I'm forever locked in with this being, like, in one of my, like, top songs of all time, just because it reminds me of being a fucking kid playing GoldenEye for fucking hours on end. Like, great song.
Damn, dog, you just blew my mind. That totally is the song.
Yeah, man.
It's, like, slower, though. Like,
it's a little different, but
wow.
It's a little different, but not by a lot. Like, you totally know where they got it from. Like,
yeah. Yeah, it's like Vanilla Ice and fucking Queen.
Yeah, dude, yeah. It's like, no, it's different. It's totally different. Mine's got a little ding at the end.
It's got that. Okay. Wow. Well, yeah. Wow. You kind of mind fucked me right now.
Hey, man. It's just
crazy. Anyway, all right. You want to jump in?
Yeah. Yeah. What else do you want to talk about?
I've got notes for every song.
All right. I didn't take notes. I just listened and listened and listened to this album because I was really enjoying it. So
no, it's a good. Like, I would listen to it. I listened to it like 3 or 4 times today, and then I actually sat down and like read the lyrics to the songs. Okay. And like, cause there was one on In My Time of Dying. I'll get to that. There was some. I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about until I read the lyrics. Okay. Also in the Night Flight.
Oh yeah.
Night Flight.
That's a good song too.
I had like a dream about something that made me realize what this song was about.
Okay. Yeah.
I woke up like 3 o'clock in a cold sweat, like, oh my god, it's about this.
Yeah, I totally don't remember the lyrics from all of these songs.
Oh, I don't either, but I do. Well, let's start at the beginning. Let's start with Custard Pie.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna look up the lyrics also, but
okay.
Yeah.
Custard Pie is a totally fucking double entendre song. It's all about fucking.
Oh.
And he even said, like, I'm gonna take your man out and I'm gonna fuck you. I'm gonna throw your man out in the yard and I'm gonna fuck you. If you don't throw your man out, I'm gonna fuck you.
I mean, okay, so this song, you don't really need to hear all of the lyrics to understand that it's a double entendre. The name of the fucking song is a metaphor, or not a metaphor, a synonym for fucking cream pie. Like, come on.
For sure. Like, no, it's absolutely. But I do like that it's really bouncy. Like, the song is like really bouncy and fun and like da 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 da. Like, it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's a good bouncy sound to it, which I really like. It's kind of like a, how can I put it? It's like when you lube your dick up before you put it in the girl. Cause it's like the starter. Like, it's like putting like a lube on your dick and then just getting the head in. It's like this song. Cause it's like bouncy and fun and you're done with like your foreplaying and then you're about to get, you just get the head in. That's kind of how it's fun and bouncy and light. It's fun. That's how I feel about this actual song.
Which begs the question: how much lube is too much lube? There isn't.
Depends on how tight she is. I mean, it's a matter of girth and tension.
Sometimes you can never have enough.
50-gallon bucket. Sometimes you might just need.
Oh, They totally sell. Okay, they totally sell a 55-gallon drum of lube on Amazon.
I know they do.
It's like it's like $1,500, but yeah, it's a thing.
Hey man, Foxy Boxing needs to fucking. They need them shits on fucking demand. Right?
They're tired of buying the little 3-ounce motherfuckers.
Yeah, I know.
At the sex shop.
There's not enough at H-E-B or Walmart to fucking little fucking bullshit ass Astroglides to fucking fill a fucking ring.
Oh man.
Yeah, but Custard Pie was good. I liked it. I feel like it was a really good intro song.
Yeah, it grabs your attention.
Really
it's catchy. It's good.
Yeah. Anything else you have to say about that song?
Not really. This was just, actually, okay. Maybe we can, kind of tie this right on back to, Stevie Ray Vaughan and really use the link between this and Stevie Ray Vaughan, of that sweet chicharron, because it's what I love to eat, right?
It is. I mean,
I chew on a piece of your custard pie. Like, come on, like that's how he ends the song.
No, it's more of, I guess anybody can eat custard pie. Like, it's, I'm not gonna slut shame or fucking.
Hey man,
I'm not gonna duck anybody's yum. Like, if anyone wants that custard pie, have at it.
So yeah, man,
it's what I like to eat.
It's what I like to eat.
It is what I like.
So that's fun for me. Just Richard wrote that song about, what he loves to eat, and the opening song of this album.
Apparently Led Zeppelin did too.
Yeah,
30 that.
Okay, that's
okay. So Custard Pie, it's a fun, light, bouncy song. But then we move on to The Rover.
Yeah, this is
good.
This is a bad song. This is awesome. Oh.
I feel like this song is where like Jimmy Page really shines with like his guitar playing. Like I feel like Custard Pie was good, like a good, nice and easy into, and now The Rover's where you're getting the full fisting. But you're getting all.
Yeah, man.
Because Jimmy Page comes in with his fucking crazy good licks. I mean, it's a good song.
Yeah, this one's fucking strong. I mean, he fucking hits you right in the craw, just man.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, it's a hard rock, fucking ready to go, and Jimmy Page is just showing off like he does.
Yeah,
but it really shows you his talent, which I really really enjoy about this song. That's a good one.
I totally agree. This was one of my favorites. I think I said this was in my top 5, but if not, it's right there.
I didn't write yours down because
I didn't either.
I don't have a pen, and you're just sloppy at podcast.
I have a pencil right here and a pen right here. I've got like 6 pens around me, but I don't take notes.
Yeah, well, I've got plenty for us. Okay, so let's go into In My Time of Dying.
Yeah,
what did you think of this song?
All 11 minutes of it.
Another fun trivia fact that I forgot about until right now. This album has the longest Led Zeppelin song and the shortest Led Zeppelin song.
So that would be In My Time of Dying and the instrumental?
Brawn Your Arm, yeah.
Yeah, because that one's real short.
And same album. It's Brawn Your Arm is like 2 minutes and 16 seconds, and In My Time of Dying is like 11 minutes and 5 seconds or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. But that being said, it's not a bad song at all. It's it's a slower song, and they kind of they have a lot of the same structure and, maybe not structure, but they have, I would say so. They keep it with a similar number of like verses and stuff as many of their other songs, but this is much slower, and it's just kind of sad, but at the same time, like he wants to die easy, and he doesn't want people to like be sad about it, so
honestly, I feel like this is almost like a gospel song.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like a heavy metal, like a metal gospel song.
Yeah, it could totally be in that vein. This one also, they kind of change up. I mean, I said it was a slower song, but they kind of changed tempo a couple of times in this one too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, at both there's two different bridges in this song, and first off, I'd like to say that, man, Jimmy Page, the slide guitar, like his slide.
Yeah.
This is if you like slide guitar, this is an ode to an amazing slide song, because he uses that glass slide like a son of a bitch.
Right.
Both of the changes at both bridges is really good, but the second bridge between, I think, verse 5 and 6 is amazing. Like, that is the best. Like, both of them are amazing, but I think the second one is the best.
Okay.
And also, totally played this song at my funeral.
Oh, yeah. I can do that. If I outlive you, I can totally do that.
Oh, you definitely will. You definitely will. I've had so much fucking drugs in my veins. There's no way you're not going to outlive me.
Allegedly.
No. Well, I am what I am.
Yeah.
Actually, when the song begins, it sounds like another song called "Catch Hell Blues" by the White Stripes. Like, both of the intros to this song are like exactly almost the same. Like, if you play them back to back, like it sounds like the same song is going to start when you play them.
I haven't heard that song in a long time, so I'm going to take your word for it. I remember.
No, go ahead and pull it up. Pull it up, man.
No, I remember hearing it because there was a time when I got super into the White Stripes, and especially like their bluesy stuff. But I don't recall the exact song. But yeah, man.
It starts off like oh, you're going to get in hot water. Oh,
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely sounds like they totally stole this intro for Catch Hell Blues. Like, it totally sounds like it.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things with blues in general. Like, there's a lot you can do with it, but at the same time, there's only so much you can do with it, with the genre. Like, I mean, there's an incredible diversity within the genre, but there are a lot of super common themes, and there's a lot of, like, super common, like, the way certain riffs are styled and, like, the way certain songs are driven. Like, it's part of what defines the genre, you know, like you would with any genre of music. So you hear stuff like that all the time, like where musicians will take things from other, and I feel like in the world of like the blues, I don't think people get as upset about hearing things being kind of used or slightly altered or stolen or whatever. I don't feel like people get as upset about it in the blues community as they do in like some of the other mainstream music. You know what I mean? Because it just seems, I mean, there's only so many ways to play a 3-chord 12-bar blues song. You know, that's the first, third, and fifth, like, or first, third, and fourth chords. You know, E, A, and B. Like, there's only so many different ways you can play that 12-bar blues riff in E, like, or E minor, I should say. But, so I feel like there's a lot more, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there've been a shitload of lawsuits and we just don't hear about them because the blues just isn't very popular, but.
Oh no, during my research, like, they, as rappers call it, they bit different, like, I think, like, a couple of other people's, I think actually, Bob Dylan did a version of this.
Yeah.
And I think they stole a bit from that, and I think they said something from, like, Robert Johnson that they sampled from. Like, they just, little bits of inspiration that they took from here and here and here and here,
right,
and then made it their own. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that's kind of what. And
I think that's super, super common in the blues in general. Like, I don't think it's really frowned upon in that community. But anyway.
Okay, so, two more. Okay. So I didn't know, I listened to this album like 3 times or 4 times, and at the final verse, I didn't know what he was, like, I got lost in the music, so I couldn't really listen to the words.
Right.
So there are 3 different things that I thought he was saying, and then I'll tell you exactly what he was saying.
Okay.
I heard, "Oh, my teeth hurt." "Oh, look at Cheetah." And "Oh, Georgina." Turns out He was saying, "Oh my Jesus." Oh, my teeth hurt. Oh, look at Cheetah. Oh, Georgina. I was like, what the fuck is he talking? Like, I remember I was at work today. I went outside, had a cigarette, and I was like, what the fuck is this guy saying? Like, what is he saying? Like, oh, Georgina? Okay, oh, Georgina. Okay, he's talking about a girl.
Yeah.
Oh, my teeth hurt? Like, that's it? Like, oh, my teeth hurt? Like, no, that's it. And then, look at Cheetah.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
It's Led Zeppelin, so I have no idea what the fuck it could be right or wrong. Like,
oh, man. Yeah, if I can't understand a lyric, I don't try that hard. I just kind of let it go.
Well, it was like bothered because he says it like 8 times, or 8 or 10 times in the last verse, and I'm like,
the end of song.
Like, what the fuck is he saying? Like, finally took me to sit down at a computer and go, oh look, oh my Jesus. Oh, okay, it's his teeth don't hurt. It's not a cheetah, and it's not a girl named Georgina.
Robert, you need to get to a dentist, my man. Oh man. Oh, also, this one at the very end, somebody in the background coughs and he finishes the song, cough. Like,
oh yeah, I was gonna bring that. Yeah.
Somebody coughs and he sings it.
Like, that's
oh man, it's really beautiful. Funny. It was really fun, man. That totally caught me off guard at the end of this song. Like, he just goes, cough, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, cause normally they would just take the coughs out and shit like that, and they just totally left it in. Like, oh man, that was perfect.
Well, actually, it was, and then after that, in my notes, John Bonham goes, that's gotta be it. That's gotta be the one, ain't it? So it makes me think, like, this is, like, the take.
Right.
So they've done this song, like, a couple of times, and that was the one that, like...
Yeah, everybody was just feeling it. One. Yeah. Everybody was just like, man, we were tight on that, like, this is good, that's the one, right? And he makes a joke about it. But they even make a joke about that's gotta be the one, right? Cause I think, or maybe that's a different track, but one of them, then Jimmy goes, yeah, we're on track. Oh no, it's later in the album. They do another one of these later in the album. It's, I think
that's Black Country Woman.
Yeah, I think so too. It's either right before or right after that where they're like, they ask Jimmy a question and, he's like, yeah, we're on track. Well, we're on track 1 again. And, you're like, oh, yeah. 1 again, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I want to say that's Black Country Woman, but we'll get there when we get there.
Right.
Okay, so In My Time of Dying, longest Zeppelin song, really good. It's not Oh My Teeth Hurt, so so let's move on to the Houses of Holy.
Yeah, Houses of the Holy, man. This is a super popular song, and this is probably one of those songs that gets used in like TV shows and like movies and shit over and over again because it's just super. No, I'm thinking of Trampled Underfoot. Sorry, but this one too. Actually, I mean,
I'm sure it does.
But Trampled Underfoot is the one I'm thinking of that they probably use in movies and shit. But so this one. Though, I guess it's the chorus, but the opening lyrics, let me take you to the movies, can I take you to the show that may be yours truly? That, like, man, lyrically super strong right out of the gate. Like, and not just, maybe I should say vocally super strong right out of the gate. Like,
for sure.
I really like this song. That's why it's so hard to pick a top 5.
This song is about, like, I feel like this is what they wrote about, like, Houses of the Holy. They wrote about, like, all these, like, things, but I feel like what they're trying to get across is that being at a concert, especially playing a concert, it's something spiritual. Like, when you have so many people, like, at, like, a venue or a thing, it makes you, it's a spiritual thing in itself. Like, when you have so many people invested in an idea or I think it's like they're feeding off the energy of the crowd and it makes it holy because it's so many people giving so much of themselves for an idea or, like, for the same concept. that it makes it holy. Like, it makes it a pure thing. Like, does that make sense?
I like that a lot.
I think that's kind of, like, the idea that he's talking about is, like, let me... I didn't write any of the lyrics down, of course. I just wrote my thoughts.
Man,
but it just feels like...
I like that. I like that interpretation a lot. Let me see. I'll pull up the lyrics, and I mean, he talks about
like going. Well, like for instance, like
no, fucking. I mean, he. Oh, yeah. Okay, so in one of the verses, he's let the music be your master. We heed the master's call. Like, oh man, yeah. So yeah, totally. I really like your interpretation of what they're saying here, and it totally is, man. I mean, there's
if you've ever been to a concert where like everybody's like feeling it, it's like this massive energy.
Yeah,
it's almost spiritual.
It's totally spiritual. It 100% is. I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, man. So I've never played for a big crowd, right? I've only ever played like bar shows. So, 20, 30 people tops. But when you can get people in that kind of, groove or in that kind of mood, there's a energy that you're putting out and there's an energy that's reflected back at you. And it's the same, well, it's also that way with the other musicians on stage. Like, man, when you hit a really good groove, just a really fucking smoking groove, there's a type of energy between you and the people you're playing with that is just, it's incredible. That's like, probably the best example I have of this, because it's one of the most memorable moments of playing music live is the very first time I ever played with Eddie Sines. The day I met him, he showed up at one of the open mic nights that Richard does, or used to do at the Luau, and, didn't know this dude, but, Richard introduced us because he was like, hey, fucking Eddie plays blues too, like, y'all should, jam some Sweet Home Chicago or something like that. I think that's, or some Pride and Joy or something. I think we did do one of those songs. Fuck man, like, we just got into this, fucking battle on stage. Like, it was fucking epic. It was totally electric. Like, he brought his amp and I had brought my amp, so we were loud as fuck for one. Like, goddamn, we were loud, and just passing solos back and forth. And that was probably when I was the best guitar player I had been, because I was playing weekly, and I was playing twice a week because I was playing with Richard at Rax on Thursdays too. So man, it was just like that kind of energy is just, plus all of the fucking concerts that both of us, you and I, have both been to, not necessarily together, but I know you've been to a fuckload of shows, and I've been to quite a few, and man, that kind of energy is just something that you don't find elsewhere. You just don't.
It's yeah, I mean, it's like, well, it's like I feel like what they're trying to say is like, especially the Houses of the Holy, is like it's a spiritual energy that you can only find in a group of people, and that's what he's trying to talk about. Right. It's some kind of weird gregarious energy that people have when they all get together and all are going for the same thing.
For sure.
That is most commonly idealed in like churches or conventions or something like that. When we're all doing the same thing, like we're all praying or we're all, focused
meditating
on one
or
thing,
whatever. Yeah.
But we're all here for the same reason, kind of thing. So
right.
I think that was my interpretation of the song.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot, and great fucking song. Anyway.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. Weird again, that it got dropped from the album. It's not good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Which is weird that like this kind of got like shoehorned. Like all of these songs got like shoehorned into this album, and it's like really good though. Right. I think that's what I think that's the kind of its niche is that it's
And
it's got so many like weird songs because they couldn't fit them into other albums, and they're like, well, fuck, we're just gonna make a double album and just throw that one in there.
The funny thing
that
is,
one around for 3 years.
The funny thing is too is like they wrote 8 songs for this album, so that could have been its own album. Like, like it totally could have been, but you know.
But they had so much other shit. Like, fuck it, throw that one in there. Fuck it, you know what? Let's do a double album. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's throw all this shit in there. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I think. That's what makes it's kind of this charm of this album is that it's so eclectic. I think that's the real charm of it is that it's really good and it's all over the fucking place.
Right.
I like it a lot. Anyway, moving on. We're going on to Trampled Underfoot.
Yeah, so this is the song that you hear everywhere.
Man.
And if you've ever heard this song, there's a good chance that if you don't think you've heard this song, you probably have. Because you've just probably thought it was called Whole Lot of Love.
Yep.
I got a whole lot of love.
No. Yeah. Talking about love.
Oh, yeah. So I got that one wrong, too.
No, the whole lot of love.
Oh, yeah. That is a different song. This is, I can't stop talking about love.
Yeah.
Talking about love.
Trampled Underfoot.
Yeah.
Is, it's fun because I think you'd get like a big old boner on this song.
Every time.
Because the whole song is just talking about a car.
Yeah.
But it's heavy innuendoed.
Yeah.
Like, gonna blow a gasket. Talk about love. And it's probably their funkiest song the funkiest song I've ever heard Led Zeppelin do. Like, it has like disco beats and like the bass is real heavy and like there's the keyboard at the bridge, man. And then Jimmy Page doing the wah-wah. Mm-hmm. At the bridge, holy moly, it is some funky ass shit.
Yeah.
It's a really, really fun song. It's really funky. It was so close to make my top 5, but it was so close. It's really close to make my 5, but I had to drop it for something else. But it's a good one.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it totally is. This is just one of those songs that's just, it's a fucking really funky groove, and it's catchy as fuck, and yeah, I mean, it's just one of those songs, you know, like, if you've never heard Zeppelin before, you probably have, and it's probably Kashmir or this song. Well, that and like Stairway and all that other stuff. But from this album,
they have a lot.
From this album specifically.
From this album, it's either Kashmir or Trampled Underfoot.
Yeah, those are the 2 songs that are like, you've heard this song before, you know?
Yeah, you didn't know what it was, but
right,
you definitely heard this song before. Alright. The keyboard in this, at the bridge, the keyboard, and then Jimmy Page, or fucking, John Paul Jones on the fucking keyboard, and Jimmy Page with the wah-wah at the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
That is those 2 knocked it out of the fucking park. And from what I read, it was inspired by Superstition by Stevie Wonder.
That would
which is fun.
That would totally make sense.
So I think they heard that song and kind of twisted it their own way.
Yeah, like, well, we need to do something like that.
Yeah, and I'm glad they did. It was it's a really good song.
There's a note on the track list I'm looking at that says that the lyrics, that the rhythm and the groove and all that, like the funk was inspired by Superstition, but the lyrics themselves are inspired by Robert Johnson's Terraplane Blues, which is a song I can't say I've heard. And the Terraplane was a classic car, and they're using the song. Mm-hmm. He uses the song talking about a car as metaphors for sex, which is pretty obvious if you listen to the lyrics of this one.
It's all about fucking. But
oh man,
that's why you as a gearhead, I was like, this has got to get your dick hard because you're talking about fucking in cars. Like, there's no way you can't.
That's such a common theme in I want to say the blues, but hell, music in general. That's such a common theme. It's just like fucking. You gotta. Music itself is almost in its own a metaphor for fucking, right? Like, I mean, think about all the music you've ever heard and how much of
it's either about not fucking, that bitch left me and I can't fuck, I met this new bitch and I want to fuck her, or I'm fucking this bitch right now.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's like music. Those are the three biggest fucking tropes in music. Like,
don't be so specious. It's not, that's life, dog.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I mean, you either want to fuck, you just fucked, or you want to fuck, or you want to fuck again.
Yeah. You want to fuck, you fucking, or you want to fuck again. Yeah, yeah.
Or you can't fuck her, or you can't fuck him. I want to fuck him, but I can't. I just fucked him, and I'm glad about it. Or we are literally doing it right now.
Yeah.
That's what all songs are ever, period. That's all life is ever. I had to go to work so I could fuck this bitch.
Yeah. I gotta make that money so the bitches wanna fuck me.
I gotta go to work so I can fuck this bitch.
So yeah.
All around fucking. Oh, it is. Anyway, okay, moving on. Let's go on to Kashmir.
Alright, so Kashmir. This is the other uber popular song that we talked about earlier, about how both of us had interesting first times with this song. how neither of us thought this was the song we thought it was, and
we both missed the juice from the root for sure.
Yeah. I thought this was a video game soundtrack, and Shane thought that this was a rap song, so.
It was a rap song with Jimmy Page. I just thought it was a shit song once I heard it, but I was wrong. This song is really fun.
Yeah, this is a good one.
It's got a lot of Eastern melodies to it, and also an orchestra.
For sure, yeah. That orchestra comes in just fucking strong. Just the ba 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 da bum. Oh man, they either pulled some influence from Queen, or Queen pulled some influence from them. Because I know Queen was fond of using orchestral like sections as well.
I think it was a discussion between. Okay, and we're back.
All right.
Okay, we were at Kashmir?
Yeah, I think we're pretty much good to go with that one. Dog, okay. We're like a third of the way through this album.
I know. Oh, I know.
Okay, so the next song is, In the Light.
But before we go on, Kashmir was also, I wanted two quick things. And Kashmir, it was inspired while they were driving down like 3 miles down a road in Morocco.
Okay.
And there were like these huge like dunes, and they like that's what inspired the song. And also the line in the fourth verse is he says, trying to find where I've been. Like, that is one of the most vocally amazing parts of music ever. Like, he stretches that motherfucker out for 15 seconds. That is a fucking awesome, that is the keystone of that whole song.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole song's amazing, but that whole, when Robert Plant does that whole,
this is a group of musicians who are all fucking incredible in their own right. And Robert Plant is I'd say not only one of the great vocalists of all time, but also one of the most stylistically unique. Because he's primarily he fucking loves that falsetto, and he uses it almost all the time. Like yeah, uses it well. Almost all the time. Like, this dude can't get enough, and god damn, he's good at it.
He really is.
That's showcased all over this album. But there's, there are places where he also shows that he's capable of doing the bassier stuff too. It's just not as common in his arsenal. Anyway,
true. But he does. It's just that one line about. I think it's just after the 4-minute mark where he does that bend where I've been. Like oh man, it melts my fucking soul. Anyway.
For sure.
Next song is In the Light.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorites. Eh?
I said yeah.
Eh? Oh, I think you said eh.
I said yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not my favorite song on the album, but again, for one, I'm super biased because I'm a huge Zeppelin person. Like, I fucking love Zeppelin, even though I hadn't heard all this entire album in its entirety. So a little bit of a hypocrite, but I do really, really enjoy Zeppelin. So it's hard for me to say any of the songs on this album are meh. They're all pretty fantastic to me. But this one doesn't hit my top 5. But
it definitely is in mine because it's so prog rocky. Like it's so fun. Like I don't know. It's so different from what it's so different. This album is different in itself,
right?
But that song, the most different, I feel like, on the entire album.
Well, and
it is way outside of their wheelhouse.
A little bit, yeah.
And I really like it.
And prog rock is more your wheelhouse anyway, than it is mine. So that it totally makes sense why this would be higher up in your rankings than it would be for me.
Yeah, no, I like prog rock, and this is the closest thing. Like, this is very much prog rocky. God damn it! Hold on, give me a minute. God damn it, my phone's not charging. Son of a bitch. There we go. All right, there we go. Okay, we're back. Yeah, no, it's very prog rocky. Why are you doing things, phone?
Yeah, so in that prog rocky vein, this is that song where they play like there's a synth happening like the entire time. Like the synth is used like all over the place in this song. And fun fact about this song, Jimmy Page uses a violin bow to play the intro on his guitar.
Motherfucker, you steal my notes.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah. And you can hear it, you can hear the difference in like how it starts. Like it's a really good song. It's
totally in a whole nother vein than what like traditional Zeppelin is, like what they've done for the first like fucking 4 or 5 albums. Totally different.
For sure. But that's what makes it fun, is like, I feel like that's what makes this album different, is that they're trying crazy ass shit that they've heard, like probably from like Crimson King or something like that, where they've heard these prog rock people who've come up and they want to do something like that in like a song.
Good pull on that Crimson King, by the way.
Yeah. I know some stuff.
I knew I liked you. I knew I liked you for a reason.
We will do an episode on.
Oh, we've got some prog rock coming up. There's going to be a bunch of it. There's going to be a whole lot of it.
I know. We have
I'm not mad about it.
Hopefully coming down the tube with a prog rock band with a special guest.
Yeah. Hopefully that all works out well. We'll figure it out. But
we'll get there.
That'll happen.
Prog rock, like Mars Volta, like, is like prog rock fucking, fuck yeah. I feel like you could even say that Pink Floyd is like the first prog rock band.
Yeah, I mean they really dive deep. I don't know my history all that well, so I don't know whether they're definitive first band or not. But yeah, probably the first like super popular band. You'd have to say Pink Floyd.
I know for sure. Like King Crimson is like the first like OG fucking. We're just a prog rock band,
right?
And that's what on ourselves as, but
so yeah,
very prog rock, and I really like this song. That's why it's in my top 5. I think it's my number 2. Anyway,
yeah, something like that.
My number 3, I think. Anyway, great song. It's fun. If you don't like prog rock, you're not gonna like this song.
Right.
And okay, well, moving on. Bron Your R.
Okay, so
is the next song.
The, like we said before, the only instrumental and the shortest song on the album, which I think pretty sure we brought both of those up before, but,
yeah. And also my number 2 song, I love this song. It's, I love that it's a folky acoustic.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like intense, but soothing at the same time.
Yeah.
Which go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this is just fucking Jimmy Page playing Jimmy Page, you know, like, kind of, I don't want to call this, like, filler, because I totally don't think it is. I think this is something that he sat down and wrote, and the rest of the band was just like, yeah, nailed it. Doesn't really need anything else, you know? Like,
it kind of breaks up the album, like, which I like, is that it kind of like you have all these like pretty heavy, either musically or lyrically intense songs,
and this kind of
like heavy. So, and this is like intermission song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. I think that's a good way to put it, because this basically cuts the album in half, and the second half of the album is very, very, very much less rock oriented and more folk, country, acoustic blues oriented.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would have to totally agree with you. I think that's a great assessment, actually. Yeah, it kind of breaks up the tone and mellows you out.
What Bron Your R means is, before you fucking jump my notes, motherfucker, it's a Welsh word for golden breasts. And so it's actually a place in Wales.
Yeah.
It's actually a house in the Wales where, like, it sits on 2 mounds.
Breast.
And, like, the sun would rise. The sun would rise and fucker. You're such a dickhole. God damn it. Why do I even fucking bother with you? Jesus, nuts. Jesus, nuts. Anyway,
I wasn't even gonna steal that note because I didn't know it. But you said breast.
I didn't say breast. I am Cornholio. Like,
dude,
okay, that's what we're gonna do now.
No, it's not. But you know, I had to go that route because I'm a child. And we
for sure, man, child, it's fine.
And we should totally do that as one year. Walk around like a con.
Beavis and Butt.
Yeah, we should totally walk around a con as Beavis and Buttheaders one year. It'd be fantastic.
Okay, I'm totally down, but I want to do it in their Burger World uniforms, and I get to walk around as Cornholio.
As everybody wants to be.
Once I get really drunk, I'm gonna be Cornholio.
Everybody wants to be Cornholio, but I'll totally let you have it, just because I know you can do it better than me. So, I mean, it's something I'm sure we've both been doing since we were little kids. For sure. But you know, like, because that's one of those shows, man. That was one of those shows that I used to be when my brother was in a good mood. I could sneak into his room and watch Beavis and Butthead with him, and he'd just be like, "Isn't this funny?" I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, it is. This is hilarious." And I didn't get half of that shit, but you know, I do now. And man, I used to do that Cornholio shit all the time, and I love it. Yeah, but yeah, you can be Beavis. I'll be Butthead.
Actually, I want to give a shout out to my friend Matt Barker, who likes our show, and he just recently like tagged me in the Great Cornholio episode with him and his brother.
Oh yeah.
And I watched. He tagged me in it, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna watch this whole fucking video, this whole 15-minute fucking show." Like, fuck yeah, because I know exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Oh man.
He drinks all like the
soda or the sugar or whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Anyway.
Well, that had nothing to do with Run Your Own.
Nope, not even a little bit.
Beautiful song.
Yeah,
which
it is.
Leads into Down by the Seaside, which is
okay. I really like this song.
It's a good soft rock song. It's a good.
It is. It's super mellow.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but I guess just coming off the rest of the album and transitioning into the more folky stuff, like, it's not even my wheelhouse. Like, I like the blues rock, like, that's my jam, but, I don't know. This is just a great fucking song. Like,
I mean, the idea is just slow down and enjoy life.
Right. And
essentially, like, just life's gonna pass you by. Like, if you don't stop and look at life itself, then it's gonna pass you by. So just stop and smell the roses, kind of thing.
So yeah, I guess maybe that's what it is about this song that I really like. Cause like, every time this comes on, I'm just like, down by the seas. Like, I'm just, I'm like on my own little boat in my own little, on my own little rowboat on my own little river. Just like, I think this song almost puts me into a meditative state, and maybe that's what I like about it. Like, it just...
Okay. I mean, honestly, it kind of sounds like an Eagles or like a Journey, like low tempo, like low key, like if the Eagles and maybe Otis Redding kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like just nice, sitting on the dock of the bay, kind of...
Yeah.
Or,
I didn't think about it that way, but you're totally right. I mean, that's the vibe of this song. So
just nice and easy, just to break the album up, really.
I mean, I don't think it's in my top 5, but it's one that I very much enjoy listening to.
It's a good song. It's a good song. It's just it gives it like I said, it gives a different dynamic to this album.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think they would do a song like that, but they did they did it in Zeppelin style, which is good, and it's a good song, but it's not memorable. Like, I don't think it's memorable.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice and easy, and it breaks up the tempo.
I'll give you that.
Like, I feel like it feeds into Bron Your R. Like, Bron Your R slows it down, and then Down by the Seaside, like, really slows it down.
Yeah, the instrumental's a great segue.
Yeah,
the instrumental's a great segue into that song. So
I think whoever arranged this album did a good job by putting those back to back, and then the next song is 10 Years Gone.
I want to say
which is a little slower.
I want to say this album was produced by Jimmy Page himself. Like, but I don't know. I mean, they were under a record label, so they probably had like a manager and all that shit anyway. So 10 Years Gone.
Okay. Alright, 10 Years Gone. Man, I didn't like this song when I listened to it.
Okay.
But once I really sat down and read the lyrics and like listened to what he was saying and read the lyrics, that bumped it up into my top 5.
Okay.
Like, this is a sad, sappy song.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm a sad, sappy motherfucker. I love
you show as fuck are. Did reading the lyrics of this make you cry? Because I could see that.
For sure. Oh,
I could see that happening.
Absolutely. I listened to the song and read the lyrics, and I started bawling like a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Because I'm not being listeners. I am not being facetious. I literally cried.
Oh yeah. He's a crier.
I literally cried.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, we're both very emotional people, but I'm rarely, if ever, moved to tears by music. You are all the fucking time.
Oh, for sure. I see a Hallmark commercial, I'll fucking cry like a bitch.
I don't think I can count the number of times I've been listening to music with you, just shooting the shit, hanging out, and you're just crying because of whatever song came on. Like, that's not a knock against you or anything. Like, I'm fully aware of. Like, I wish I was. Who I am. I wish I was as moved by music as you sometimes, because I'm. It amazes me you're not a musician, like, because of how emotional it make it. I mean, but I get it. It's everything. It's not just music, but
well, just talent and effort.
Right.
When I'm trying to play a song I like, and then I fucking start crying in the middle of it, I can't really.
Okay.
How do you fucking learn all the chords? Like,
man, you're like the girl that cries during sex. It's just, is that way? That's how you are when you play music?
Maybe. No. No, because, well, maybe, I guess. Yeah, you're right. Fuck. I wanted to say no, but once I started
when you started describing why you're not a musician, you kind of you fed that right.
Yeah, no, and I'm not, and you're right. I can't, like, for instance, I used to work at a bar with my friend, when I worked at this bar with my friend Cassie, what we do is we play Disney music at the end of the night.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's like Saturday night, we play Disney music. And was either what?
Oh, I totally remember these nights.
Yeah.
I've been there for many of those.
So it was kind of a double-edged sword. So it would usually chase off the dudes, but if there was some drunk broad there, they want to sing all the goddamn Disney songs.
Karaoke up in that bitch.
Exactly. But for some reason, during the Disney playlist, Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley would come up. For some reason or another. And that song, why I don't know, but it did. And I will bawl like a 5-year-old with a skint knee. Like, I would just cry and cry and cry.
Yeah.
So, I'm a crier. I cry a bunch. Anyway. I didn't like this song until I read the lyrics. Hold on.
Dang it, Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby. Okay, anyway, you'll come up back. Okay,
so then we lead into
10 years gone. The idea that, like, what I've seen and read, it was, apparently Robert Plant made a big deal about this song in an interview, and he said that, he was in love with a girl, and basically what happened was she said, it's either me or your fans.
Right.
And he said, fuck it, it's gonna be my fans. I have to do this. I have to chase my dream.
Right. Like, she wanted him to give up music as a career.
Yeah. And so he lost her, and now he's wherever he's at. And it's just him, like, reflecting on, like, that person.
Right.
Which hits me in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know. This song hit me on a personal level, and that's why it edged up over Trampled Underfoot in my top 5. Because this one hit me personally.
Yeah, I think it's a super relatable topic. And, anybody that's ever had to deal with any kind of situation like that, my relationship, almost ended because of my cross-country move. And it's difficult to keep going. And, it was almost a situation of it's me or having a career, or it's having a girlfriend or having a career. And luckily we were able to work it out, right? But, and we're doing well for ourselves, on that note. But, it was one of those things where it was like, I found a job cross country, and that really fucking blows because, I don't want her to give up her career, and I don't want to just not have a career. I don't want to fucking wait tables, to stay in buttfuck nowhere, West Texas, So yeah, I think it's a super relatable topic, because anybody that's ever been handed an ultimatum, there you go.
Exactly. That's why it's one of my, it got on my top 5 and not Trampled Underfoot, because I feel like this is I feel like a lot of people have been dealt this hand.
Right.
Like it's either you, I don't know, it's either your dream or this person.
Right. And luckily for me it worked out, but it doesn't for a lot of people, so. For sure. Fuck, I'm crying right now. God damn it. Okay, well, then let's move on then, so that
great song. It means totally a lot. Is, yeah. It hit me sideways. Yeah. Anyway. Moving on to Night Flight.
Night Flight. This one's this is, man, I like the groove that this song gets into.
It's a good groove, and this was the one that this is the song that I read the lyrics, I listened to it over and over again, and I couldn't figure out what the fuck they were talking about.
Okay.
Until I had a dream, and I had a dream about like being in a war, like I don't know, just being in like. Truth be told, it was a zombie apocalypse, but being in a war.
Okay.
But I woke up and I was like, holy shit, this song is about draft dodgers.
Okay.
It's like, I don't want to fight in your, like, you give me a gun and something, the lyrics are something like, they gave me a gun or something like that and I'm on a night flight or, I don't know.
Okay, so, yeah, okay. Alright, alright. I see there. I see you there. Yeah, you're fucking taking a night flight. You're fucking getting out.
Getting the fuck out. No, you're
getting the fuck out of Dodge in the darkness, under the cover of darkness to fucking, so you don't have to get the fuck out and go fight people. Like, yeah, that's really makes sense. For a reason
you don't, it's
for a reason you don't agree with or whatever. You're like, yeah.
Exactly.
No, that totally makes sense.
That's my interpretation. I have no idea.
You're probably dead on. I didn't really pay that much attention to the lyrics on here. This was totally a song that I just thought was a good jam.
It's good. It's more country rock than rock. I feel.
I guess so. This is this one. And I had to. I had to look up the effect, but Jimmy Page uses what's called a Leslie speaker on this song, and so I've heard of this effect and I understand how it works to an extent, but I had never really heard the practical application of it until this. So what a Leslie speaker is if I remember correctly, if I remember my history correctly, a Leslie speaker was used with old organs, like not pipe organs, mind you, like old electric organs from like the 50s and 60s that still ran on like old tube amps and stuff like that and had speakers.
Like Inagata kind of thing?
Yeah, and so, I mean, yeah, so from what I understand, that's where the Leslie speaker originated. And essentially what this is, and like, of course a guitar player playing in a church or something was like, well, let me plug my guitar amp into it and, let me pull my speaker from my guitar amp and instead of plugging into the speaker in my guitar amp, let me plug into this speaker and see what it sounds like, and got this interesting, almost tremolo effect. So essentially what it is it's a speaker set at an angle that spins. So like, I think it's set at an angle. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it's a speaker that's set at an angle and the deck that's holding the speaker at that angle spins so that the angle is constantly, so that it's rotating about a central point. So it's always facing, like.
Oh, so you put like a speaker on like on a wedge, and then you put on like a lazy Susan, and then you spin it around?
Right. That's pretty much exactly what it is, but it's all inside of a speaker cabinet as well, and there's some acoustics done with, how the speaker cabinet is ported or whatever, because there's interesting acoustic things that happen with speaker cabinets depending on how you port them, and speaker cab design is really interesting. Like the only one I've ever built is just a simple open back cabinet or semi-open, I should say, that's just a box. But a Leslie speaker, if I remember correctly, this is basically like what you said, put a speaker on a wedge and spin that bitch on a lazy Susan, while you're playing your amp through it. And it makes this, it's almost like, it's kind of like a mix between a tremolo sound, or maybe not a tremolo, but maybe like a volume, like a volume like modulator, or like a wah-wah, maybe kind of all those things kind of mixed. Like it's a real goofy sound, and you hear it on this song. And this is the first time I've ever heard a practical application of this effect. Part of that is because a Leslie speaker is fucking really big. And it's not like a guitar pedal that's tiny that you can just click on and off. Like it's a whole thing. And if you want to switch, you have to have a switch box, and you have to bring this extra speaker thing with you. So nobody uses these things because they're so cumbersome. But super interesting anyway. Little fun tidbit.
Huh. All right. Ik ben impressed. All right. So
the next song.
That's Night Flight.
The next song is the Wonton song. And this is certainly a song you've probably heard before, even if you didn't know what it was.
Oh yeah,
super popular, good song. They kind of come back into the rock vibe with this. Like it's fast. It's right there. Like it's cool. It's got a good, really badass rock riff at right out of the gate.
For sure. It's, it's got some, I feel like this song has, it's got some heavy, heavy funk to it, but it's got a really heavy edge, too.
Yeah.
And also another fucking heavy innuendo song.
Oh, yeah.
It's
yeah, very much so.
So that's the number 3 of the heavy innuendo songs on this album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They talking about fucking. But
yeah.
Less funky, but less funky than Trampled Underfoot. But got a little heavy. It's got some funk there, but it's got a really heavy to it too, which I like.
I just pulled up the lyrics, and it's like "My Loving Gun" is thrown in there. Which shout out to Kiss for "Love Gun" because that was a great sex song. And then lose my senses, lose command, feel your healing rivers run. I mean, yeah.
No, it's very tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
for sure. Very much so.
Some great metaphors in there.
It's a good song. Just not. I mean, hey man, you did it 3 times on this album. Stop hitting me over the head.
I mean, yeah, I get that.
The music is great. The music's great.
This is just
the 3rd time you hear "I want to fuck you." Like, okay, I get it.
I mean, this is just
when you come up with Cashmere. Come on, man.
This is just another one of those super catchy, fucking great rock songs.
No. It's a great song. It's just okay. I feel like I don't know if this is where they started putting songs on this album just to fill it.
I don't know because this is another one of the songs that was written for this album and not taken from one of the other albums, and I feel like all 3 of the songs that are just blatantly about sex were written for this album, and I wonder if that means that maybe they were in between tours or something and they were all just super sexually frustrated, cooped up in this house writing songs together.
Well, not only that, but because then you get to the last song was "Sick Again," mm-hmm. and that's totally it turns on its heels on that.
Yeah,
we'll
get there
on the straight fucking thing.
Oh, we'll get there.
Yeah,
but between
anyway, one song is it's a great. I feel like the music is good, and they did better with other
fuck songs,
tongue-in-cheek songs. Yeah, I feel like the music is better than Custard Pie, but the words are lacking.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
how about me? But I do like the funk. I do like the funk side of it.
Yeah, I think they did a good job when they try to incorporate funk in this album. I think they do a good job just because I don't think it's something they're completely estranged to in their careers before this, but it's more prevalent on this album than it is with some of the other ones. From what I understand, I could be totally wrong about that. I am not familiar with their entire catalog.
Well, we've got 3 more fucking Zeppelin albums to listen to, so...
Yeah. Oh man, I'm not mad about it. I'm really not. Okay, so...
what I've said is, this is the worst one, and this is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I'm really not upset about listening to more of them. Okay, moving on, with,
Boogie with Stew. Oh, I like this song. I like this one a lot.
Why? Why do you like this song?
Man, it made me dance.
Made you dance?
Yeah. This one and the next one. And the next one more lyrically I I'm more in touch with lyrically than this one. But the next one I really like the music behind too, but we'll get to that. But this one, man, it makes me want to move. I'm not a huge country fan. I have some country roots, being a Texas boy and having one of my first CDs. Yeah. And having one of my first CDs be an Alan Jackson CD, so like I'm very, country is certainly ingrained with me. And this is kind of like a country boogie woogie kind of song. And actually has a guest artist in it as well. The piano is played by,
Ian Stewart.
Ian Stewart, right.
From the Rolling Stones.
Right. So this is almost like a country style boogie woogie, and man, just the beat of it, the rhythm, the whatever you want to call it, the groove of this song just makes me want to get up and just kind of fucking boogie, man. Like, honestly,
this song feels like they made this in the studio. The next two songs, it feels like they made this song in the studio. If that makes sense. They were sitting around in the studio and they were fucking around and they made a song.
You're not wrong. Like, that's gotta be it, because I mean, one of the side notes I've got on this is, it was never performed live. So this is a song that they never played live. This is purely just like a studio fun time. They're just grooving the groove,
Yeah.
And that kind of energy, I think,
that's how the Chicharron's born.
Yeah, man. And and until we recorded this podcast, I hadn't had a page pulled up. Every time I pull up lyrics, it comes with a little couple of notes on the side. And so I'm reading them for the first time, which is why I said it's never been performed live. That's me reading it off this page. I didn't know that, but I knew I liked this song because it just made me want to fucking boogie. Like, it's in the title, and even before I knew what the title of this song was, because, I mean, the first time I listened to it, this album, I just loaded the album on Spotify, hit play, and, drove for 2 hours. And, I didn't intentionally drive just to listen to the song. I mean, I was driving and I used this song to kill the time while I was driving. But that is one of my favorite ways to listen to music too, is driving. Cause I enjoy driving as well. But man, this song just, like I said, just makes me want to get up and move. And,
well, that's the whole thing. I feel like these two songs resonate with you because you are an actual artist. And
artist is a stretch, but you
are an artist.
Well, I appreciate.
I mean, not in no, don't get it fucked up.
Not in a professional way. No. I'm not in a professional way.
You're a musician.
Yeah, I mean,
and you can appreciate more so than I can on things, but like when something's organic and good,
yeah,
you fucking save that shit.
Totally.
And especially if the tape's rolling and you just come up with something that's amazing. Yeah. Fuck yeah, save that shit.
I mean,
what's that?
Go ahead. I just enjoy when musicians just fucking jam the fuck out. Like, it's awesome. That's what I like about this song. It's not super deep.
So, with that being said, can I commit you to an episode on Stevie Ray Vaughan and Richard King?
Yeah.
When they're just jamming for 3 hours.
I mean, I don't see why you had to ask.
I just remember that, and I really enjoyed just listening to it. It was a fun thing.
I don't know if I know I'm not familiar with the album, but I'm absolutely certain I'll enjoy the fuck out of it.
Yeah, it was like a PBS thing. Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, Boogie with Stu. It was fun. Piano's fucking badass.
Yeah.
And he played a broken piano also. And then
lyrics were totally stolen.
Huh?
Lyrics were totally stolen, by the way.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Actually, one of the notes I just now saw, lyrics were stolen from Richie Valens' "Ooh My Head," and he sued them in 1979 over it. So I lied. It does happen in the blues community, although I don't consider Richie Valens a blues artist. He's a pop artist.
Richie Valens was dead by then.
Totally
I
pop.
think
well, he's dead now, but in 1979 he wasn't.
Yeah, he was. He died in a fucking plane crash.
I mean, it says he sued. This is also coming from the internet, so I'm probably wrong.
Richie Valens, didn't he die in the goddamn plane crash with Buddy Holly and all them motherfuckers?
Oh, fuck if I know.
In like 65?
I don't know. I mean, I like Buddy Holly. I don't know as much Richie Valens as I do Buddy Holly.
Yeah, he died in a fucking plane crash.
I don't know, but the lyrics are from one of...
I think his proprieties, or his holders of his rights, sued because of XYZ.
Doesn't matter. Just a note, the lyrics were totally stolen, so it's probably just a song that Robert Plant liked, and they were probably just jamming, and he probably just adapted the lyrics that he already had memorized, you know? Like, but that's part of what makes it so fun to me. Anyway, let's move on.
Okay.
Black Country Woman. Fuck, I love this song.
It was recorded at Mick Jagger's garden.
Really?
Yes, that's why you hear the airplane overhead at the beginning, and I was like, "Hey, we should cut that." No.
Oh, God damn it!
Actual airplane.
Yeah.
Flying over
Oh, that's what that was. I totally misheard all of that. Man, that's really funny.
Yeah. And it's a fucking studio song. Like, these fuckers just sat around and just fucking came up with this shit off the top of their dome.
Speaking of airplanes flying overhead, I just heard the train in the background.
My train or your train?
Your train.
Oh, it's my train. Yeah, it is my train.
I'm amazed we haven't heard one of mine yet, because I could spit and hit the railroad tracks from my apartment. But yeah, I fucking didn't know that. I didn't know any of that about this song. I just thought this was a great song.
That's a good one.
This song is like classic fucking acoustic blues. This hey mama, what's the matter here? And like the why you treat me so mean, like all that shit. You didn't have to leave me with that beer in my face. Oh, fuck, this is good. Like, this is super classic blues, like bluesy breakup song. This is like the classic bluesy breakup song, and
I know your sisters too, or some shit like that.
Fuck yes, that's man.
It's like their rendition of Red House.
Yes, that's exactly where I was going with this. That's a line taken straight out of Jimi Hendrix Red House, like. If you don't love me no more, I know your sister will. Like, oh man. So this just, man, I don't think I had ever heard this song before, but it connected with me, like, just right at my fucking core, like, music inspiration.
I knew, when I heard this album, I was like, man, this is a fucking Andrew song for sure.
And that's probably why this is my favorite song on the album. Like, man, this one just, it took me by surprise because I hadn't heard it before, and it's just so good. It's just so good, so well written, and it's like one of those things where it's like, and they were just dicking around, but it's so fucking well written, just off the cuff. Like, man,
I'm not gonna say that it was or wasn't, but I know for damn sure it feels like they were just fucking around.
Maybe they were, maybe they
like it was one of those like. They were fucking around, and then they were smoking pot, drinking, or whatever. And then, like, in 2 hours, they wrote this song.
I mean, and maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. This is one of the songs that was cut from Houses of the Holy, as well. So this actually wasn't written for this album, hence why it wasn't recorded in the house. But yeah, this is fucking great. Like, this is, I'm more of a blues rock kind of person, like, but this just gets me to, like, my absolute core of what is blues, and this is it.
All right. Okay. Yeah. And then, okay, so let's go ahead and move on to Sick Again.
All right.
How'd you feel about the song?
So this is the last song on the album. So how do I feel about this song? Like I've said before, I don't generally really pay that much attention to the lyrics. There's a line in here that is just fucking cringeworthy. And it's something about being like 14 or something like that.
13, 14, and 15 again, or something like that.
Right. And it's right towards the beginning. Like, hold on. Let me look it up. Okay. So yeah. So one day soon you're gonna reach 16. So it's like, man, right out of the gate, and that's in the first verse. Like right out of the gate, this hit me with like oh fuck, my girlfriend's daughter is 16. Like, so this just hit me right out of the gate with like, oh, that's creepy. But I'm sure at the time it wasn't.
No, why do you think this song is called "Sick Again"?
I don't fucking know, but
because it's disgusting that these little fucking teeny boppers come up to these rock stars and they want to fuck them.
Okay, that totally makes sense.
That's what I think. That's what Jimmy Page was saying. Like, he felt bad because all these fucking groupies, like these little teeny bopper groupies, like just want to fuck their way to fame.
See, so that makes so much more sense because, that makes so much more sense because, like, I mean, like I said, I didn't listen to a lot of the lyrics in this, but I'm just kind of scanning them now, and you're totally right. You're absolutely right. So this was one of those songs that I was just like, it's hard to knock it because it's Zeppelin, but I was just like, man, this is kind of creepy. And now that I understand,
he's talking about how it's fucking awkward that these fucking little preteens are trying to fuck him.
Right, and now that I understand that, it makes so much more sense. I'll probably like the song more, but even then, it's just like, I don't know. I don't really connect with this song as much as some of the others.
I don't either. I mean, he had a point to say. He had something to say, and he said it.
Right.
Just look, this is weird. I don't like this because these little girls are trying to fuck me, and I don't like that.
Right.
And I don't want to be a part of that anymore.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a good message to, like, get out there. Like, I'm not a child fucker. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not a creep. Fuck you, Bill Cosby.
So yeah.
Anyway.
I didn't know that was the message of the song. I was just kind of like, man, this song's kind of creepy. And it is. I mean, the fact that you've got little girls trying to come up and hook up with these old men is fucking creepy. Like,
yeah, it's like, remember when we went to some bar in a place in Texas, and we were old, and there were a bunch of people who couldn't drink alcohol, and we had to leave like directly. You and I went to a bar in this town, and it was super awkward, and we had to leave directly.
Man.
Because, like, wow, there were a lot of minors in this motherfucker. I don't feel comfortable here. Let's get the fuck out.
I don't remember the exact experience you're talking about.
We went to the ranch one night, on college night.
Oh.
And it was super fucking awkward.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because there's been a couple of times, Rocks, whatever the fuck you want to call that bar that it changes every other year. They go through phases of being 18 and up too. And so between those two bars, it's just like, man, some nights it's just super creepy in there. But the ranch, I remember, now that you say that, I remember that night because, like, man, we went there, which was out of character for us as the two of us to either meet somebody, to meet up with somebody or something. Probably to meet up with somebody, if I remember right. And yeah, it was just like all kinds of like, it was like the new freshman crop was in town or something, and we just decided to go. We probably went to the luau after that.
I think we just went home after that. Like, nope, we're done.
That could very well be what we did. We might have went home and played frisbee golf.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That was pretty common when we weren't feeling the bar. Just let's just play frisbee golf until 3 a.m.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we did. Anyway, so in summation, physical graffiti.
Highly recommended.
How would you rate it?
Oh man, I can't give this a perfect 10 because there are some songs on here that are forgettable, and there's some songs on here that I just don't connect with as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't give it a perfect 10, and there's better Zeppelin albums. I'm gonna give it a solid 8.5.
That's weird. Because I was going to give it the exact same number, 8.5.
I don't want to give it a full 9 because there's so much on this album, and they could easily cut 3 or 4 songs, and this would be a better album, I think, for it. That being said,
for sure, but
I don't think any of the songs on here are bad.
No,
and I enjoy. I don't. This is not an album that I skip songs on. Like I will say for about an hour leading up to this one, I played them in a different order than just straight through because I was playing them in the order of least remembered to most remembered, and maybe I should have done it backwards so that the least remembered would have been the freshest on my mind. But yeah, they're like I said, I don't think there's a bad song on this album, but they could cut 3 or 4, and they could have cut this down to a single LP, I think, and still been and had an even stronger album altogether.
Well, the problem is, if they were to cut 3 or 4 songs, it would have been the ass end of this album, which would have been your favorite songs.
Yeah.
Like the reason they made a double album is because they had too many songs, and they added a bunch of other shit. And
you're not wrong.
Your 2 favorite songs are on the fucking bottom.
I would have cut it differently than most people would have, because man, Boogie with Stu and Black Country Woman are right up there with me, and those are right there at the ass end. So
yeah, those were shoehorned in.
But yeah. Anyway, well, so you said you'd give it an 8.5. Also, why?
Yeah, mostly because I feel like the songs that are strong are strong.
Yeah, for sure.
The first 10 songs are really good. Like Custard Pie, My Time of Dying, House of the Holy, Trampled Underfoot, Cashmere in the Light, Bon Your 10 Years Gone, The Wanton Song. Those are all good. Those are all good songs.
Right.
Down by the Seaside, I get it, but kind of weak. And then like the last 3, like the ones you like the most, I feel like were just kind of shoehorned in. Like Boogie with Stu, Black Country Woman, I feel like they needed a place to put this song, and it didn't fit. I feel like after 10 Years Gone, they could have cut that album. What's up?
Maybe so, but I mean, I don't know. I guess you're right because Boogie with Stu and Black Country Woman, both of those were not written for this album. So
same thing with Night Flight and Wanton Song. I feel like I could.
No. Wanton Song was recorded for this album. It was recorded in.
I'm sure it was, but I would just cut it.
But I mean,
you've got a heavy funk song in Trampled Underfoot.
But this ended up being one of the most popular songs coming off of this album.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm just talking about how I feel. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I get you. I get you.
The Rover, it's.
I really like that song.
I feel like when you're doing Custard Pie, with like the heavy entendre, double entendre, as well as like a Wanton Song and what's the other one? It's like heavy fucking double entendre. Good lord.
Is it Trampled Underfoot?
Custard Pie, yeah, Trampled Underfoot, and then
the Wanton Song.
Wanton Song. You got 3 songs that are all talking about fucking.
Yeah.
Cut 2 of them. Cut 1 of them at least, because
I feel you.
You're saying too much, especially with I'd say cut Wanton Song because Trampled Underfoot, that's funky and has.
Yeah. I wouldn't cut funky. That. I might cut Sick Again because while I understand the message and we do share an experience, it wasn't something that I went back to over and over again. I would have to agree. If you're gonna cut something funky and double entendre, cut the Wanton Song. and leave Trampled Underfoot because that's the best funky song on here.
Yeah. And then leave Custard Pond because it's the bouncy, fun intro.
Yeah. While I really enjoyed Down by the Seaside and it's a really good mellow out song for me, I would agree to cut it for this album.
Yeah.
Just because, it would shorten it up by 5 minutes. And then, I don't know, outside of that, I don't really want to cut anything.
I'd cut, honestly, I'd cut Boogie with Stu.
I understand why.
Either Black Country Woman or Boogie with Stu.
I understand why you would want to cut those two songs. And it makes sense. And I'd have to say cut Boogie with Stu. Just because Black Country Woman is one of my, if not my favorite on this album. But those two songs don't really carry the theme of this album, of the rest of this album. Yeah. So I totally understand.
But the problem is, it's 1975 and you're making a double-sided LP.
Oh,
so
no, this is two double-sided. This is two double-sided LPs. This is side 1, side 2, grab another record, side 3, side 4.
Side 1, side 2. So they needed to fill it, which is I get the idea why.
And, I mean, honestly, if they were going to cut this down to just two sides, they would have to get rid of probably 2 out of the 3 of In My Time of Dying, Cashmere, or In the Light, because those are all super long songs.
Because they're crazy long ass songs.
They're all, 2 of them are 8 minute plus, and one of them's 11 goddamn minutes. Like,
yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, so if you're gonna cut it down to 2 sides, those 3 songs have to be cut to 1 song, you know? And so I understand why they wouldn't want to do that. Because those are 3 of the strongest songs on this album.
For sure.
Also, all 3 of those songs were written for this album.
Specifically.
So, I understand why you wouldn't want to cut those and why they're just like, well, you know, we can make cuts and try and shoehorn everything onto 2 sides, but it's not going to work. Because
that's why double album.
Right.
And they just throw all the kind of shit, like just whatever, hey, what do we got in the vault? The best things that we got in the vault. Throw that one in there.
I mean, honestly, it turned out great. Like they arranged it well to go from really hard hitting to kind of mellow at the end, and then you know there's a couple of hard hitting songs at the end also just to kind of like, hey, wake the fuck up. We're starting to hit the end of the album. Wake the fuck up. It's time to put back side 1, disc 1. It's time to re-listen to this shit.
No, I mean, overall, like, this is a solid 8.5 album.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's a great album, even though it's long as fuck, and we're at, like, 2 hours now?
I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, probably so. This is going to be a real long episode. So if you're still with us, congratulations. Like we know we're not, we know where we're at quality wise, and we understand. But yeah, anyway. Super good album. The album itself is like 40 minutes long, so you're in for the long haul when you listen to this, but it's totally worth it.
Yeah. Anyway, you gonna shut this down?
Yeah.
I think we said all the things we're gonna say about this.
I agree. Okay, so hey guys, thanks for listening. Especially if you stuck it out this long. Like, we know this is gonna be a long episode, but fuck, man, it's worth it for a Zeppelin album. It really is, especially one that's 40 minutes long itself. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and I might post these on YouTube, but nobody's watching those. So you can also find us at sadpandapresents.com. Maybe one day we'll start putting show notes there. Maybe not. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/sadpandapresentspodcast. Real long, I get it, but that's what was available. So check us out wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to hear us do an album that's one of your favorites, hit us up. Probably on the Facebook post that we post one of our episodes on. That's probably the best way to contact us, because I still can't read iTunes reviews. If anybody's left them, I don't know.
Also, before you go on, yeah, please let us know if you'd like to hear an album. Facebook is the way to go.
Yeah. Message us personally.
We have 2 requests from 2 different people, which we will get to.
Right.
And if you, please, if you have something that you would like to hear, we'd like to do it.
Right. So let us know. Get in touch with us somehow. If we don't respond, we didn't see it. So that's a good sign.
We're dense boys.
Right.
We're just dense.
The next album on the list, we will get to those suggestions, but we're probably going to put them at like the 5 slot, like every 5 albums, and then we'll probably do like 2 suggested albums or personal favorites or whatever. So the next one we're going to be talking about is Elliott Smith, Either Or. And I know Shane's super excited about this. So.
Oh my god, I'm so excited about this. I'm going to cry so hard.
I've never heard this album.
So hard. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm not familiar with Elliott Smith at all, so I
thought it was Beck. I thought it was Beck next, but it's Elliott. Oh my god.
Yes, the next one is number 97. Physical Graffiti is what we talked about today. That was number 98. Number 97.
Next one's Either Or.
Elliott Smith, Either Or. The one following that is Beck. So.
Okay. Oh man, back to back Shane favorites. Man, all right. Yeah.
So we got 2 albums coming up that are going to be real fun.
This is my wheelhouse now. We did Andrew.
Yeah, I'm completely. I'm going in. I am somewhat familiar with some of Beck, and that's about it. So I'm going in blind to both of these albums, really.
Oh man, I'm so excited! I love both of these albums. Super excited. Anyway,
did we miss anything?
Probably, but
okay. Well, thanks again, everybody. See you later, and tune in next time for sure. What you got, Shane?
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you listening to us. I hope you have a great evening and a better tomorrow.
For sure.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, Carlos Lobos.